Hey guys, welcome back to the Macro Music channel. So today what I wanted to do is talk about my Yamaha CS-5. Now, when I got this synth, I really wasn't looking for one. I don't really do a lot of vintage synths because they end up needing maintenance or repair. But also, I just didn't really need another analog monosynth at all. But it was such a great deal that I decided to take a chance and jump on it anyway. And the reality is I've kind of fallen in love with it. Something about the sound on this thing has just got a lot of punch to it, and it's sounding really good. So I thought today I would just kind of talk about it, give some demonstration of the sound, give you my thoughts, and if you have questions about this synthesizer, I'll answer those for you down in the comments. So what is it? Well, let's talk about the basics of this thing first, which won't take long because it's pretty simple. It's a single oscillator, single VCO analog monosynth that has basic wave shape is that of a saw, and you can see that here on the mixer part of the control panel there. But it also has pulse width modulation, so you've got a control for pulse width there, and you've got your square wave there on the mixer as well, so you can blend the saw and the pulse width. And I don't know if it's doing sort of like a wave folding situation there, but I know that it's a single oscillator, so you can get some rich harmonics, but you can't get really two paraphonic tones going at the same time. You can't divide octaves or anything like that. So you are really getting a single voice no matter what you do. It has a 12 dB resonant filter with 3 modes: high pass, band pass, low pass. You've got cutoff resonance, you've got your LFO and your envelope depth right there. And then you've got your ADSR envelope generator there. You've got finally some additional controls for your VCA. You've got LFO mod, you've got initial level, which we'll get into in a second, and then you've got your envelope generator depth there as well. Basic modulation are that of an LFO and portamento. You also have a pitch bend right here. The LFO can do a sine pattern, a saw wave, or sample and hold. Sample and hold will get really quite wild and do some really interesting rhythmic stuff when you mess with that. But yeah, this synth, quite simple to get your head around the controls. So for someone who's maybe interested in getting into electronic synthesis, and you want something kind of simple to understand what you're doing around subtractive synthesis, this might be a great place to start, especially if you're wanting something vintage, if you want that vintage tone. What you see is what you get here. So on the back side, I'll show some images of that here. You've got trigger in, trigger out, and you've got control in and control out. Basically what those are is CV and gate, if you're into the whole modular thing. So I'll do some demonstration on having an external sequencer run this as well, so you can see what that's like. But yeah, it's as you can tell, it sounds pretty great. I've started doing a new project, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to bust out the Yamaha CS-5. I put it up here on my desk to start recording it, and it's been here a while because I can't seem to leave it alone now. You do a broad range of sounds. You can do snare type stuff. If we turn off the noise and bring in the main oscillator, kick drums. So it's pretty useful as a sound source for sampling or something like that. You could take this and in a sampler like an MPC or something like that, build a whole drum kit with it, and obviously the sampler would let you retune things as well, so you could do additional shaping. But as a basic sound source, you can tell I've got some noise here. That's kind of to be expected on a synth this old. So yeah, this is the raw sound right here. Something I will call out is that changing the feet, or in other words the pitch range of the oscillator, it doesn't always track properly across the pitch. So let me give you an example. So there's that there. Okay, it's pretty good. Now it's getting pitchy. So if you change your range on the tune, you might find that you're going to have to readjust the fine tuning to match whatever project you're working on, because a middle C down low may not be a middle C once you get up high. So let's see here. Yeah, you can tell. I tend to keep it pretty low because I find that the bass on this is really one of the most fun things to use from the synthesizer. It's amazing to me that a single oscillator can have so much bass to it. It really does sound fat. So yeah. That's the raw sound. I've got a couple pedals here as well. So I've got a delay and a reverb, because it's kind of hard to beat the classics on an analog synth. So let's check some of that out. Give it a smoother sound here. Sounds great. All right, so now let's take a little look at using something to sequence it, and hear that. So yeah, I really like this thing. It has a sound that is really raw, really fat, and it's maybe less articulate or less deep in a sound design world, but what it does right, it does really, really well. And there's just something to these old analog monosynths like that have single oscillators. They just sound way bigger than they have any right to. It's sort of like people talk about the Korg MS-10, and a lot of people consider it to have a bigger sound than the MS-20. And the MS-20 has, you know, 2 oscillators and a sub oscillator, but the MS-10 just has that raw fatness that I think really resonates with people. Another one that I have that's similar, it's actually right there, is the Moog Micro Moog. Again, a single oscillator analog monosynth that just sounds really big. If you guys are interested in a video on that, let me know in the comments, and I'll make a video about that one too. Maybe I'll compare the two. That might be interesting. But yeah, I put this thing on my desk the other day, and I started working on a project with it, and it just really was getting the job done. So I just can't seem to leave it alone. In fact, some of the music you're hearing in the background right now is some stuff that I've been recording with the Yamaha CS-5. So anyway, that's it. Again, nothing real formal here. Just wanted to share some sounds and share some thoughts on a synth that I've really kind of fallen in love with. And if you come across one of these, I would urge you to give it a try, because I think you'll be glad that you did. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I will see you again next time. Bye.